Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, obviously we had the conference finals versus the Florida Panthers, and unfortunately our team just could not find a way to win against them. We won our first 2 games, but then we lost 4 straight, and unfortunately lost in 6 games to the best team in the East, who went on to the Cup Finals against Chicago and lost. But it was a good run for our team, like kind of an unexpected run, because I wasn't sure if our team was going to be able to get even back to a conference finals, but they managed to do so. So at least I'm happy about that. But the only thing is now is time is very much not on our side with how old everybody on this team is getting. Like Wilma's now 37 years old, I think. Yeah, Wilma's 37 years old now. There's a high chance I think he could drop to exact top 9 potential next season, which is not great. You have like Del Rivera, who's 31, Lehman, who's 35, almost 36. Like, yeah, this team's age is definitely not helping. Obviously, with the younger guys like Ozen's jumping in, that's going to help us out a lot. But the older age of a lot of the players on our team is making this a little bit scary that our team is definitely going to take a big hit in the offseason. We did just lose the Sheriff to retirement, which was a very big loss, I would say, in a way, for our team. Not obviously in terms of overall rating and all that, but in the fact that the guy was a very good player in this year. Is probably one of my favorite players that we drafted, just because of his development pattern, how crazy it was based on the statistical growth, and he was getting really good assists and stuff like that, playing with guys like Willem and whatnot. So obviously losing a Sheriff was kind of a sad blow to our team, but I still think, obviously, this team has maybe a chance to do good again next season, because I think our offense, of course, should be good. But the one thing I'm a little bit skeptical on is how good our defense is going to be, because a lot of these guys are pending free agents. I don't know how good our defensive core is going to be next year, so I'm hoping that we could kind of maintain it for the most part, but it's definitely going to look a lot worse than it's ever looked on paper. At least we have Cardwell locked up, so that's at least a positive. But aside from that, guys like, I believe, Boys, I think Kolsnick too, Mangone, Booze, I'm pretty sure most of these guys are pending free agents, which is not great because they might want to leave the team, considering we've had a lack of success in terms of the playoffs. But anyways, enough of me rambling about that. Let's get into your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about our conference finals exit. So we only have 2 comments. The first one is from Michael Dose, who says, as a diehard Blackhawks fan, I'm happy to see that at least. So he's happy to see the Blackhawks win the Cup, but come on, we don't care about the Blackhawks in this situation. Obviously, if it was the Jets series, you could say about that, but this series, we only care about Halifax. Come on. If we would have won that Stanley Cup, that would have been nice, but I don't think we're going to have a chance now. I don't know if we would have had a chance to beat Chicago. Based on their roster, they still had like Connor Bedard and all that, so maybe it would have been a tough time for us in the finals again, but I still would have liked to at least get to that Stanley Cup finals again. And then the last and final comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, the Sheriff rides off into the sunset after a career that was far better than anyone could have expected. My question is, would you retire his number 13? I see him as a Chris Phillips type of player, didn't have the flashy stats, but was a heart and soul / face of the franchise guy, who I think would remain a pillar of the Halifax community for years to come. And to answer that question first, before we get into your next part of your comment, I definitely could see him getting into potentially into the Channel Hall of Fame in a sense, or having his number retired, so to speak. But obviously there's a lot of other good players, and it's like he's kind of reminds me of in my Anchorage series, he reminds me of Miles Claxton in a way, because Claxton kind of exceeded my expectations as well. So I would kind of say they're kind of similar players in that sense. Into the second part of this comment, he says, as far as what you should do for next season, I really don't know what you should do about your defense and what to re-sign. Would you realize any cap savings if you bought out Ahinen? He's pretty disappointing lately and not worth $9 million plus you're paying him. Also, probably time to move on from Budens, Michelli, and have Zadorov as your NHL backup. In that draft, as you said, it's probably too late at this point to develop, so pick whoever you want. So, yeah, I would probably end up letting go of Budens and Michelli. Budens is an RFA for 1 more year, but it's probably better just to get Zadorov as your NHL backup for his first rookie season. And then about buying out Ahinen, that's kind of an interesting one that I don't know how much it would save us. And I really don't know if at this time if it's kind of something we should do. The reason being is because I think we have a lack of centers, right? Actually, no, we don't really, because Boucher kind of has taken that spot. So that might actually be okay to buy him out. I don't know how much it's going to cost us, but we could definitely take a look at that. Obviously, kind of buying out a guy that's been here since his entire career, though, kind of sounds like a dick move to do. But we could run Wilm, we could run Boucher, Hartman, Dodge. If we could get Hartman and Dodge re-signed, that would be great. because those two guys would be important. Obviously, if we lose both those guys, we still have at least Richter signed, so that's not terrible. I would probably hold on to Richter over Dodge because Richter's still signed for a long-term deal. He's the same age, but getting Hartman back, I think, is like a third-line center would be imperative if we were to buy out Ahinen. As for like guys like Hamelainen, Habscheid, and Haken, like I feel like our winger depth is definitely going to drop off a lot too. So, but we do have guys like Jacobson who should be jumping to the NHL, so that should help us out a little bit on the offensive side of things. But yeah, you can see the defensive core. Basically, only 2 defenders are signed into next season, and one of them is Kolesnik, and he's still making a lot of money, but he should be retiring at the end of the season hypothetically, which will save us some money, at least I think. But I will probably try and bring back as much of the defenders as possible, obviously, if we buy out Ahinen. And then, yeah, Budens won't even get a qualifying offer, probably didn't, just because of the fact we need the money for the defensive core. And we already have a young goaltender in Zadorov who's ready to take that jump at 20 years old, which is amazing. It's good that we drafted him, and yeah, Michelli won't come back. Then we'll probably need to sign, I guess, Morgan for the AHL. Demetrius Morgan, I almost forgot about this guy. I almost thought he was named like Dexter Morgan or something like that. If any of you guys watched that show was amazing. Or, well, for the most part, not the ending, but spoiler alert. Anyways, so yeah, we'll probably sign Morgan, I guess, for the AHL as well when we do that. So that way we have at least one of our prospect goalies in the minors and not just 2 random signings that the AI makes. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do this offseason, so let's waste no time and let's get into this draft. Not that it's going to be probably that important for us because of the fact that we're quite late into the series, but we might as well still take a look at it anyways and see what we could grab. Obviously, we could always auto-sim once we get to a later stage if there's nothing else out there, but where are we drafting again? I didn't actually take a look at that. I want to make sure I know where we're picking. 31st. Yikes. Well, that's not great. That's not great at all. Let's take a look at this draft class. I think I had a few guys pinned, but let me just see who's supposed to go around 31. I didn't realize we were going to be that late. Ponikarovsky. Yeah, this class is not great. There is a goalie prospect, but once again, it's too late to really develop another goalie prospect, to be honest. There's a top 6 forward and Colborn. Ooh. Okay, well, Colborn might be our pick. He looks like he's NHL ready, which is actually impressive. So that's something we need, is NHL ready players at this stage if we want to make them make an impact. This will also actually help if we end up losing players on our roster to free agency. So likely Scott Colborn is going to be our pick just because that will help us out a lot on the offensive side of things. There is also Schustrom, who could be low elite that we'd be risking out on missing, but I think I might be okay with that just because of the fact that Colborn's NHL ready. It looks like he's a good play. He might actually be, no, he is a 2-way forward guaranteed, but he's got good passing, good offensive awareness and stuff like that. So yeah, this guy's definitely, I think, going to be our pick, and I think I'm going to have him in the NHL as early as next season as well, just because we could do that, or we could play him in the AHL if we really want to, but he's definitely going to get a contract, I think. Calico is way worse. I'm surprised I didn't even see that guy in last episode, because we did pin players, but none of them were that guy. So Colburn is really good. There's also a couple low leads that we'll probably take in later drafts positions. Yeah, okay. I kind of know who I want to draft at least for the first round, which is great. Was not expecting an NHL-ready top 6 forward in this draft, to be honest. But let's take a look at this year's top 5. So Colorado at 1 takes Ferraro. 81 overall power forward. We'll see, I guess, a couple years of this guy and see what he's looking like. Because we're not going to see a lot of these guys and see what their careers are like, obviously, at this point in time. But I still want to know how these guys do in their first few years. There is Takashi, a 2-way forward, going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So not too long after we lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins, they ended up having the 2nd overall pick. That's kind of crazy. Islanders at 3 take Pitt. Dean Pitt, what a name. Really good shooting categories, and yeah, he's a power forward. So yeah, this guy probably will become a really good goal scorer. Jets at 4 take Combs, who's a 78 2-way forward. Yeah, this draft class isn't the strongest, it looks like, on paper, but it's still pretty damn good. And an 80 overall offensive defenseman going to the Bruins. That's a nice little pickup there for them at number 5. Dustin McCammond. Yeah, it's going to take him a little bit of time. Obviously, his shot accuracy is still not great. Offensive awareness is pretty solid, but needs some work still, and his passing needs to get better. But this guy looks pretty decent. He actually has some decent defensive stats for an offensive defenseman too. So kind of similar more to a two-way defenseman than an OFD in my opinion. Okay, so now that we've seen the top 5 of the draft, let's zoom to our pick at 31. See what we missed out on just in case. Some medium top 9s, medium 6s. Yeah, not really anything insane right now. Not that it matters anyways, because there was no way we were going to be drafting earlier anyways. Let's make our selection here and take Colborne, because yeah, he's definitely the best player in this little bunch. So Scott Colborne. I am curious on what his overall is going to be if he's NHL ready. Like if he's a 78 overall or a 77, I mean this guy probably should play in the NHL just right away because we might lose players. So Scott Colborne, welcome aboard. Let's see how good he is. He's 18 as well, so he is a younger guy. It's not like he's a 20-year-old. 78 overall. Wow, okay, so that's very impressive. I wasn't expecting him actually to be a 78. He is already listed as a depth forward at 18, and he looks pretty balanced. I think there's a good shot I might play him already next season because having him as like kind of a fourth line right wing might help out with our defensive stats. But obviously, if we don't play him in the NHL, we could send him down to the AHL for a season, and then hopefully he's ready to take a big jump. But that's a huge help for our offense considering it's dropping off a little bit and we're starting to lose players. So really like that addition to our team. Might be one of my favorite picks we've made in the last few drafts because a lot of the other guys probably won't make it over these next few years. There could be a low lead here in Skilly. I mean, we could take a chance on him, but he might be a low 4, less like Parhagos. I'm going to pin Skilly for now. I know there's other guys later in the draft too. There's another medium 6 in Vladimir Korostin, but he's 5 years out, which is not enough time to make it before the series ends, I think. Tiny Winquist, 19 years old, might be decent, might be 2 years out. That's an interesting one to take a risk on, I think. So we're going to go with Tiny Winquist here. He's 5'10", so he's not the tiniest guy in the world, but he's still got a cool name. And him being 19 years old and maybe having some good offensive stats, I don't mind that at all. His defense and stuff like that is okay as well, maybe. But his skating and physical is where he kind of lacks. So Tiny Winquist, welcome aboard. Medium 9, 68 overall, though, is pretty solid for a medium 9 at 19. Yeah, I don't mind that pick at all. This guy actually might be able to make it because of the higher overall. So I will take that. He might not get his ELC yet, but I think there's a chance if he develops well enough, he could be like a 76 within a year. So that's a pretty solid pick. I would like to take some of those low leads as well, so we'll probably start doing that now. Since there's no point on taking a goalie in this part of the draft anyways, or the series. Let me see those low leads. They're not supposed to go for a while still. I could take a chance on maybe somebody else then for now. There's this guy, Ennis, Leonard Ennis, George Hamhuse, and those guys don't look really that great to be honest. Aaron Hale, 5 years out, goddamn. Seven St. Denis, Carson Lombardi. Carson Lombardi looks okay. Really good shooting category maybe. Yeah, we'll go with Carson Lombardi here. It might be really early, but still. Oh, low 70. Jesus. Does he actually have good shooting? No, that's one thing I want to know about. Yeah, he has okay shooting. That's kind of weird that he has that low of potential for that nice of a shot. It's not the best shot, obviously, but at the AHL level, it could probably do some damage. Okay, so our next pick of the draft. Sorry, my voice is just cutting out on me. I should actually drink some water. Okay, so our next pick, I guess we'll go with one of the low leads. So I will probably go with Vaclav Verbata instead of Verata. And he's a 50 overall grinder low lead. We'll see if he ends up developing before the end of the series, but that's another kind of guy that could fit into the bottom 6 if he develops fast enough. Our next pick will probably take the other low lead because this draft class is dipping off a lot in quality. Like there's low 70s already supposed to go at this stage, so I think I might auto sim soon. But Kavanagh is also going to join us. 67 at 19. Hey, that's actually really good too. This guy might be able to make it before the series ends if he develops well enough. I like that pick a lot actually. He might be AHL eligible. Alright, yeah, he is AHL eligible. I might play him in the AHL next year. We'll see. We got 2 more picks left. Can we find any other steals? There was a medium elite goalie that just went. Yeah, in Falk. 60 overall. How old is he though? 18. That's a really good pick there for the Flames. We could have got ourselves a medium elite goalie if we wanted to, too. There's a medium starter. I might just take him just to give us more goalie depth in case, but he's 5 years out. That's the only thing. He's got the potential. He's from Italy, too, which is kind of cool, so let's go with him. 58 overall. Not bad, but obviously I don't think he'll make it before the series ends, but we'll still take him anyways, just to give us more goalie depth. And then our final pick of this draft. Can we find any crazy steals here? Probably not. Low sixes. We might as well take a chance on a guy that could be an elite player. 20 years old though for Sami Lehtinen already. No weakness on this Ahinen dude, so let's go with another Ahinen. Might as well, since we might buy out the other one here. Bottom 6. And it's not terrible, I guess, for where we drafted him, but still 56 at 19. A little bit low, obviously. You're hoping more for the higher 60s at that point. But that's our draft. I would say that's a pretty successful draft. Colburn is really exciting for me just because he could jump to the NHL right away. Winquist has a decent shot at maybe making it because he's high overall. And then Lombardi was terrible. Verbata and Kavanagh being low elites are nice. And McCammon being a starter potential goalie isn't bad either. So if this series is to go much longer, I think obviously a lot of those guys could end up making it. But time is not really on our side for that to happen. But let's go to this re-sign stage. We are going to re-sign the AHL and head coaches and stuff like that, I think, because the AHL team, I might as well keep with the same coaching staff for now. Obviously, I could change that in the start of the season if there's other options out there. What does this guy want to be? Associate. Okay, so we'll get those coaches re-signed up. And then, yeah, we do still need an AHL goalie coach, so that's something we're going to also have to sign in this episode. And then we also have to bring back some scouts, so we'll do that. At this stage, I'm not worried about upgrading my scouts just because of the fact we're so late into the series. So we're going to keep with the same scouting pool, and we're not going to upgrade anybody because it's just way too late anyways. So there's that. And the re-sign stage. Okay, the question is, okay, we have 33 million. That's not terrible in terms of money. I am going to qualify or send two-way offers to all these guys here, just because I want to get the AHL team signed up. It's only 4 RFAs in the AHL. That's interesting. Or 4 RFAs total on our team. Means everybody else is UFAs, which is not great, really. And then, yeah, Budens I don't think is getting a qualifying offer. Some of you guys might think I'm insane because of how much... He doesn't really want that much, but I really want to give an opportunity to Zadorov already. He's 79 at 20. By the chance of next season, he might already be like an 82. So both Budens and Michelli would probably leave. Like I said, we'll sign Morgan for the AHL. I could already sign McCammond if we want to just get him into the AHL because he is AHL eligible. Which honestly I think I might do because I would rather have my prospects down there, to be honest. So we'll probably sign these two guys, let go of these two dudes, and then get Zadorov obviously for our backup behind Burkov, which will be exciting. So that's how I'm seeing it at least right now. Let me go to the UFAs here. And obviously we're going to get Zadorov signed up. And we'll get Morgan signed up as well. I'm also going to go to my unsigned prospects here and sign up Colborn. So that'll be exciting. Karpatsev is a 70 at 21. That's interesting. Not the best passing for a playmaker, but really good offensive awareness. I'll probably leave that guy for now. Kavanagh. Do I want to sign Kavanagh for the AHL already? 67 at 19 isn't bad. Do we need more defenders in the minors? I feel like we do, just in case we lose, because a lot of them are UFAs. So I think I am going to give Kavanagh a contract already, which might be a little bit controversial, but we're going to give him it already. And he's going to already play in the AHL next season just because we need to develop some defenders and fast. As for other guys like Erat and whatnot, Erat's not looking great medium elite wise. Hopefully he has a good development year. Yeah, everybody else I'll leave for now, I think. But now we have to get to, let's see, letting go of some players. So let's start off with Budens. I would bring him back, but like I said, I want to give another guy an opportunity. Budens just had a great year. I think he deserves a chance to play on a better team. And also, we want to give a chance to our younger goalies. So Patrick Budens is not going to get a qualifying offer. I'm just going to leave him sitting there for now, though. Michelli is going to be let go of for sure. Because obviously, he only wants 975. Damn, that's crazy. But at the same time, I'm not doing that. So Michelli is gone. Best of luck to him in free agency. Hopefully he gets a good contract with another team. Hopefully he doesn't beat us in the playoffs or something like that, because that would just slap me in the face. I am not going to sign this Hunter dude. Jennings has low lead potential, so we might as well sign him because of that. Nitamaki being a 69 at 21, only low 7th potential, no thank you. We will sign Dandino though, because he's a 73 at 20 as a low 4, which is not bad. I think we are going to let go of probably a couple AHL defensemen, like Renault, because, yeah, Renault I think I might let go of. I also want to keep that for just depth purposes, but, and then we also have Wilson. Yeah, Wilson's going to be let go of for sure. We'll probably bring him back at the start of the season if we want to use him as a depth defenseman. Renault I might be okay with giving a 2-way deal to. We'll see if he accepts. And then Kozlov, just to help out with the younger guys down there in the minors, is something I'll hold on to for now too. But then we get to the question with all our actual NHL players. Oh my goodness, there's too much of these UFAs. It's kind of stressful for our team. Actually, maybe I'll already let go of Budens. That way we know our goalie situation. So, Budens, no qualifying offer for you. Best of luck in free agency. I know a lot of players are not going to like that, but it is what it is. Okay, let me advance a day and just see if all those guys I gave contracts to accept, because I want to know about that already. Looks like the coaches and the scouts are accepting, which is good. I think all of them are renewing. Okay, that's good. RFAs are dealt with. Perfect. Don't even need to go back to that screen. And yeah, we just got to deal with all these UFAs. All of them want extensions almost, though, which is a very big positive. So I'll start off with looking at how much it's going to cost us to buy out Ahinen. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So we technically don't need to buy him out, but how much would it cost to buy him out? Can I actually see how much it would cost us to buy him out? Like if I click buy out, is it going to say, are you sure you want to buy out? Because if I could just click buy out now and then he gets bought out, I'm kind of scared about that. I got to see how much money it's going to cost me to sign some of these guys first that are UFAs. I'm kind of a little bit skeptical about buying people out, if you can't tell. We are going to try and sign Hartman as a third line. $5 million though. God damn, that's a lot of money. Raymond, 4.15 isn't terrible. Haken, 3.375 is not bad. Habscheid. I feel like Habscheid's one of these guys I would let go of. I was not sold on his playoff performance. He's been a decent regular season guy though, but his playoffs this last year, -7 through 16 games. I didn't like that really at all. But let's prioritize our defense here first. See what these guys are wanting, because I think that should be a good starting point. 1.3 for Fragapane isn't bad. Turnbull wants almost $3 million. That's probably not going to happen, so I think Turnbull's going to be gone. We might be able to re-sign him at the start of the year. Mangone only wants $900K. We're going to definitely keep him on that, and I am going to give him a multi-year deal just because of the fact that's a cheap deal regardless. Mauricio Booze. Holy crap, man. Okay, so Booze and Turnbull I think are gone. I don't think I could justify spending almost $8 million on a 79. That is ridiculous. Maddox Boys is definitely going to be on the decline here soon, so we'll give him a 1-year deal and give him exactly what he wants, because obviously if we lose him, our defense just becomes worse and worse. So I think those guys are kind of priority. But I think Fragapane probably leaves as well, but we might be able to sign him at the start of the season for like less than that. So I think him, Turnbull, and Booze are all gone, which definitely makes our defensive core quite a bit weaker. As for forwards, Raymond, what does he list as? Third line scoring forward. He obviously just came off 29 goals, which is pretty impressive. I might be able to get him higher in the lineup next season, right? He is technically one of our best right wingers. We'd have Colburn, we'd have Jacobson, Raymond, Del Rovere. Layman, Ozens, maybe this other booze. Yeah, I think we could do it. I might end up promoting from within too. So I think I'll give Raymond a 1-year deal at what he's asking for. I'm okay with that. As of these left wingers, I think we'll probably end up letting go at least one of these guys. So let me see. Hämäläinen has been kind of streaky at times. He's had some really good passing seasons, but really good offensive awareness and passing. If we put him next to Wilm, he should do really well again. He is obviously the most costly probably of the bunch. Habscheid, I don't really like his play really as of late. Haken is not bad as a defensive kind of forward, but he would be like on a fourth line role potentially again. Man, this is such a tough decision what to do. Ozens obviously is making a huge jump, so it would be Layman, Ozens right now on the left side. Getting Hämäläinen would be a great one to bring back in, and Haken would also be like a fourth line option. So, or we could run Booze as a fourth line option. So I think I'm going to give a contract to Hämäläinen, and then Ozens might be more third line next year, but if he makes a jump, then that's where it does. So I'm going to give Hämäläinen a 1-year deal and see if I could get him for what he's asking for, maybe a little tiny bit more. But yeah, these two I think I might let go of, because I think Haken could get replaced. And in Habscheid, I'm not really needing his offense right now. Center-wise, this is an interesting one. Wilm would be on the wing, potentially too, or down the middle if we want to. Boucher, Ahinen. Technically, we do need still have fourth line center. Actually, we don't really. Because technically, if I hold on to Ahinen for the 1 more year, and I know you guys are saying to buy him out, I would be running Wilm, Boucher, Ahinen, and then we'd be running probably Richter's the fourth line center. I would like to get Richter more ice time. That's the only problem. But even if I re-signed like Hartman or Dodge, that gives him a less of an opportunity. I could sign Dodge as the fourth line center instead, and then give Richter more ice time. Because Dodge is a sniper, so he's kind of more... He's a sniper, but he's listed as a third line checking forward. Hartman's a scoring forward, so I think Hartman might not be able to come back. I do really like his face-offs and stuff, though. But he wants like $5 million bucks. Oh man, this is such a tough decision because I don't know if it's going to hurt our team to let go of some of these guys. Dodge doesn't really want that much. I think I'm going to re-sign Dodge, but I'm probably going to let go of Hartman because of his demand. Because I can't justify $5 million bucks for a guy that's in the bottom 6 right now. Obviously, we're paying $9 million to Ahinen, which might look a lot worse, but but I wouldn't want to buy out Ahinen, I don't think. I could probably still buy him out, but I'm going to try and get Dodge on a 1-year deal. We'll see if he'll accept that. And then I guess we'll see if all these guys that I offered contracts to decide to come back. Hopefully all of them do, because I do not want to have to renegotiate these contracts, because this is a really tough scenario. I think one person rejected, and yeah, it was Boys that rejected. Okay. Well, at least makes it a little bit easier. So we'll try and get Maddox Boys still back for another year, which some of you might think is crazy, but it's just to give us more depth on that defensive core, because we know how much it's going to drop off once we let go of guys like Booze, Turnbull, and Fragapane. So, yeah, we'll try and get Boys back on that 1-year deal. And then with the rest of these guys, I think I might let them all go, which is a tough decision. There we go. We get Boys back. We're down to $15 million in cap space, so... So let me just take a look at a roster right now before I decide to say, hey, yeah, we're going to let those guys go. So it'd be Burkov and Zadorov. And then, so goaltending, good. Defense, we'd have Cardwell, Boys, Kolsnik. And then we'd have Cracknell and Mangone. And then we need to have one more defenseman signed. So maybe we'll actually bring back Fragapane because that... Or we could try bringing back Turnbull. I'll bring back maybe Fragapane. We'll see. Forward-wise, let me take a look at this. Let me look at our forwards in general, see what we're looking at. So if we look at our forward group, we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, wait. Let me look at the ones not signed. Or the ones actually under contract, I mean. Let me go back to the top of this. 3, 6, 7, 8. 9 with Dodge. 10 with Richter. 11 with Colborn. 12 with Jacobson. Coop could be a 13th forward because of his age. Booze could be a depth forward if we want to as well. I think we're good actually on the forward count. So I think I am actually okay with losing all these forwards that are UFAs right now. Which some of you might think is crazy, but Habscheid, Haken, and Hartman, the Triple H, all of these guys are going to be gone just because of the money scenario. Like, Habscheid's not very too much expensive, but I would rather hold on to him. Haken is not bad, but at the same time, he would be getting 4th line ice time, which doesn't really make sense for his overall. And then Hartman wants $5 million, which is a lot of money. So I think those forwards are all going to be gone. From a defensive standpoint, like I said, I'd probably try and bring back one of these defenders. 1.3. I mean, we could spend right up against the cap if we want to. So I could try and bring back... I would probably prioritize bringing back Booze. I know he wants a lot of money as a 79. But we want to make sure our defensive core stays a little bit strong. I might be able to bring back Booze. Do I want to bring back Booze to the defensive core? Let's see this again. I'm sorry if this episode is really boring. I'm just trying my best, obviously, to figure out a way to make this team still really good. And I wish I kind of was able to do stuff like this ahead of time. But obviously you can't really. So if I get Booze back, our worst defenders is 77. Which is not bad. But obviously those 3 guys are really weak. I think we got to bring back Booze. I know he's asking for a lot of money, but I think even though he's asking for a lot of money, it's important we get him back for 1 year at least, just to make that defensive core a little bit stronger. I mean, there could be former players in free agency, but I doubt it. Trying to think of who could be potentially out there. Let me actually look at the pending free agents, because maybe there's a defender that used to play for us that we could bring back. So let me take a look at this. Trying to make as good of moves as possible with our team. I mean, I could always just sim to free agency and then see. Wow, there's not really a lot of good free agents this upcoming year. Not really seeing any former defenders. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anybody that would be better out there that used to play with us. So I think we're going to bring back Booze on his 1-year deal at over $7 million. You can call me crazy. Do whatever you want, but I think that's just to make us a little bit stronger there on defense, which is definitely dropped off a lot. So we'll give him 7.85 for a year, and we're gonna probably let go of Turnbull and Fragapane, which means yeah, we're gonna be losing a decent chunk of players this year. And Boo is rejected. He wants to test the free agent market, but let me give him a little bit more money than he's asking for. We're gonna try and hold on to him. Obviously, I could bring back one of those other lower-end defenders like Turnbull instead, who's only 26. He is a right-handed demon, but he does not want an extension. Both of them don't want an extension, actually, for that matter. Do I go to Turnbull instead because he's cheaper? Probably not. We want to kind of just like, yeah, we're not going to bring him back. So we're going to do a 1-year deal. Take $8 million, use 79 overall defender, and hopefully you'll play good for us, because or else that would be looking really bad. But there you go. All these other guys are going to head to the free agent market, so say bye to Vic Habscheid, Taro Hagen, what's your name again? Isaac Hartman? Israel Hartman, right? Yeah, Israel, Jude Turnbull, and Caden Fragapane. Obviously, Fragapane and Turnbull could come back if they're still free agents at the start of the season now. And yeah, that's basically that. So best of luck to all those guys in the free agent market, and I think our team is still going to look decent next season, but obviously it has definitely taken a little bit of a hit. Hopefully there's still some former players in free agency that we can maybe bring in, but yeah, this team is going to not be as looking good as last season for sure. I'm really scared to see what our team looks like in a way. Obviously we're not going to bring in any former goalies, but I want to still see anyways if there's anybody out there. Hey, Michelli's getting some interest. Love to see that. Budens is probably... Wait, where is Budens? Oh, there he was. He was not getting any interest so far. Kind of surprised on that. Defensively, do we have any former defenders there in the free agent market or somebody we could bring in? Doesn't really look like it. Oh, there's Felipe Flood, but I wouldn't pay him 4.5. I mean, that is technically cheaper than the 79 we just paid, so we could have probably gotten rid of our defender and brought in Felipe Flood instead, but I'll take it. Whatever. I could bring in Felipe Flood still with the amount of cap space I have left. I don't know if it would be worth it, though. I might try and bring back Felipe. We'll see about that. Maybe there's other forwards out there. I don't feel like I really need much forwards, though. I feel like its defensive needs is our first priority. Not really seeing anybody there on the right wing side of things. Obviously, Habscheid and Haken and such like that are there. Yeah, I might actually bring back Felipe Flood just to make us a bit stronger on the defensive side of things. Even though he's asking for $4.5 million, which is half of our cap space, we might as well spend as close to the cap as we can. Which means I could have brought in some more forwards, but I want to target defense as a primary thing. Any centers? Not really seeing any former players, which means a lot of them must be getting locked up for long-term deals, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody there. So we are going to go for Felipe Flood just to strengthen that defensive core even more. Like I said, I think that's an important thing for us to make stronger, because we know that we're not going to be as good this upcoming season if our defensive core struggles. So let's do a one-year deal. Let's give him more than he's asking for because we have the money. And yeah, Felipe Flood will join this team and hopefully help us out defensively a bit, which means I think a 77 will be turned into a depth defenseman, which is okay. So let's begin the sim up to next season. I think actually we need to sign a coach still for the AHL goalie coaches, because obviously we want to do that. Holy crap, this episode's almost like 40 minutes. Yeah, this episode, I'm sorry if this is really boring, because to me, honestly, when I'm recording this right now, it seems like it'd probably be a really boring episode to watch. But we got to make our due diligence as good as possible here. We need to make sure that this team kind of makes it back to the playoffs again, because obviously Wilm could retire this season, and I'm a little bit scared about that. So we will sign this goalie coach as good teaching for the AHL. It's going to be interesting to see what that high lead goalie does as a backup this season. That might be a difference maker too in terms of our team, and hopefully Ozens gets a good jump up in overall, because that will also help us out a lot. Okay, let's begin the sim up to next season. So there is the coach. Good. I think we had that coach at one point. And there is Felipe Flood returning to Halifax, which is cool. Let's sim up to next season and get our lines adjusted and see what we're working with. I'm hoping that we still look good. I think offensively we're going to look good. Defensive core is kind of up in the air how good we're going to look, because I think boys could drop off before the start of the season. But I think our defensive core is going to look very mid. Our left wing side might not be as good, obviously, as last year either, but we're going to inject a little bit of youth into our lineup and hope that it helps push us a little bit more. And obviously, we do still have more veterans like Wilm on our team and all that type of thing. So let's go edit lines here and let's see if there's anybody we need to call up first. I don't mind the looks of this team. Coop up to an 80. That's kind of impressive. Okay. But let's see what we got here. So Burkhoff and Zadorov. Zadorov's up to an 81. Love to see that. That will definitely help us out a little bit. Those defenders in the AHL are fine. I love to see that. Let's see. Anybody needs to get called up. Sexsmith up to a 78. He's a power forward with really good shooting. Not the best offensive awareness, but it would be nice to get him in. But we do have Jacobson and Colborne jumping to the NHL. I could always throw Colborne to the AHL for a year and then call up Sexsmith, because Sexsmith's already 22. I want your guys' opinion on that, but for right now, I think we'll leave Colborne up here, because he's a two-way forward, so he'd probably be better as a fourth liner than a power forward, I guess. Left wing wise, do we need anybody to come up? Booze maybe, but let me take a look at centers first. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, we're looking actually pretty good. We might actually use Coop on our lineup. He's actually listed as a third line checking forward, as a guy that was drafted as a low 6 in a 7th round pick, one of the last picks in that draft. Jerry Coop might be the next Sherov in that sense, because that's the exact same kind of dev pattern that he had, so that's kind of interesting. But let's adjust our lines and see what we're working with. So obviously I think I want to use Wilm still maybe more as a right winger, just to see how that helps out. Man, this is weird. Boucher on the top line. Delarivere could be a second liner. Yeah, that's fine. We might want to put Richter up here because Richter, I think, is pretty good offensively, right? And not super. He does have really good shooting, though. Not the best face-off stats. Coop is definitely not a good face-off guy to have, so we might swap Ozens and Hamalainen around. We could run something like this. I don't mind it. But we wouldn't. I would like to get Jacobson more ice time. The thing is, I could put him on a power play unit. That will help maybe a bit. Defensively. Ooh, yeah, this defensive score is not the best on paper, but we're going to have to make it work. Okay, maybe do something like that. Not bad. Goalie-wise, looks good. Man, going in Colburn. I don't want Colburn scratched. Yeah, I think we might actually have to send Colburn down to the AHL, unfortunately. And then call up two older guys as depth options. So Sexsmith would be probably one of them, just because he's 22. Booze is how old? 21. Yeah, I'd rather Booze stay in the AHL over him. So we'll call up Kozlov and Sexsmith as the depth options. And we will send Colburn back down to the AHL, because he is eligible for the AHL. And then I think we're pretty much good in terms of what I want to have this set up like offensively. We are weak down the middle, though. I don't know if there's a way to make that stronger. Yeah, our center depth is definitely not that great. Richter might be jumped up in overall soon, though, because he's going to get a little bit more ice time now this year. But, yeah, our center depth is not great, to say the least. That's why I didn't want to really buy out Ahinen. He's only signed for one more season. Power play-wise, don't mind that. Second unit. Coop on the power play. Huh. I don't know if I really want to... Who would I take off this power play unit? I'm trying to think. I might actually want to take Coop off this power play. He actually does have really good shot accuracy, though. Maybe I would take Dodge off of it. Yeah, I'm going to take Dodge off of it. And I am going to give an opportunity to Jacobson, because he's a playmaker. Yeah, because I want Jacobson to get power play time. It's not the best chemistry and the best looking team on paper, but we do still have our superstars. I don't mind it. So Lehman, Boucher, Wilm, Delarivere, Ahinen, Ozens, Hamalainen, Richter, Raymond, Jacobson, Dodge, and Coop. Defensively, Boys, Cardwell, Cracknell, Booze, and then Flood and Kolsnik. Goalie-wise, Burkov, Zadorov, and then depth-wise, Sexsmith, Kozlov, and Mangone. Yeah, I'll take it. It's a team. It's a team. You never know if they could win the Stanley Cup. Okay, so there's that. Let me actually take a look at the AHL too, because we didn't actually adjust the AHL lines, and then I think that'll be probably it for this episode at that point. We might take a look at the free agent pool just to see if there's any former players, but this is what it has the AHL looking like. No scratch players, so that's good. We should have our top guys up here on the top line, which looks like we do. Yep, that's good. Defensively, a couple low leads here. Ramo should be probably a bit higher than Stewart at this point, and then Klein should be higher than Renault at this point. But there's not really much we could do in terms of that minus, I think. So we'll keep it the same. And then they have us, I guess they signed this Koskaranta guy for us, because obviously I did not sign him. But we do have Demetrius Morgan, so we can never use this Koskaranta guy in the NHL if he ever makes it, but that looks pretty decent. Let me take a look at the free agency pool just to see if there's any former guys that have still hung around in free agency, but then that'll be it for this episode once we're done that. So let's see if there's any former guys that are still hanging around wanting some contracts, because we do have open contract spaces. Not seeing anybody there. Defensively, oh, Jude Turnbull is still there. He is listed as a top 6. Would I rather Jude Turnbull be in our lineup? I mean, I could just sign him for our AHL team, so I'm going to just do that. Oh, $1 million. And we have the cap space. I'll sign Jude Turnbull back up. Why not? Just to give us some more depth if we have injury problems or a guy's underperforming. Yeah, we'll go with that. What about right wing wise? We didn't really see much on the forward side, so I don't think there's going to be, but we're going to just double check anyways. Not seeing anybody really right wing wise. Left wing wise, is there anybody? I might be completely missing players, but it is what it is. Not seeing anybody there. Center wise, not seeing really anybody there either. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna have an interesting looking team this season. I don't really know what's in the cards for this team. I think we're definitely a playoff team still, because our forward core still looks good. Obviously, this defensive core is very underwhelming compared to what we used to have, but it's still okay because we have Cardwell locked up. But look at the pending UFAs on the defensive core, so we can kind of rework our defense as much as possible. Goaltending looks really good still. So the goaltending might be able to help out our defense a bit with our roster, so I don't mind that. And anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to another season simulation. We'll see how good this team does. Do they make it back to the playoffs? And obviously, of course, how long do they make it back to the playoffs for if they do so? Also, does Mauricio retire this season? Does he not? Does he keep on playing? We'll find out those in the next few episodes. But let me see down below, and I'll see you guys next time.